Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I'm yours truly, the one and only Coin Baron, and today we do a new weekly close. No intro, guys, just straight go to the charts because we only got 36 hours left. 36 hours until we start with the actual AMA between Chris Marzalek and, of course, the most important part, the CRO community. Time to restore some trust. Hello, good morning, good evening, wherever you're watching from. Let me know in the chat again where you're watching and what time it is, because I know personally I will be watching... Oh, wait a minute. There we go. I will be watching the AMA happening at 1 p.m. Singapore time in the EU, and it's going to be very early. Very early. 6 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, it's going to be fun. But I will be there. I will be live streaming that event, so we can actually have a bit of a pre-party and a bit of an after-party as well, just to talk about the actual facts, what has been said, what does it mean, and also what are the implications, of course, for the CRO price. Because today, guys, it's been quite a bit of a roller coaster once more. It is 12 p.m. for private, 12 a.m. here, I mean. Getting late, guys. It's getting late right now. Good evening. Good morning again. Welcome, Private. Welcome, Jay. Welcome, Random Token. So, right now, ladies and gentlemen, what we got here is the rainbow chart. And it is quite interesting for a few reasons, because I've been hoping, really, for a bit of a scoop. A bit of a scoop here in the price. And that was happening last Monday. Or last Tuesday it was. I don't remember exactly anymore. But what happened was that we actually, if we go to the daily chart, is... we went back and up and down once more. And you see this line here. Which is, by the way, the 50-day. It's been all resistance. However, luckily, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting to a point where also the weakness is getting, well, less weak by the minute. We're getting up. You can see here higher lows, but also lower highs. So we're getting to a crescendo, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting to a crescendo. Interesting. Nobody's watching from Austria time. Yeah, 9 o'clock right now. It's getting late, probably. It's getting late. J, 8 p.m. UK. Oh, man, that's also an awful time for the... Actually, I think that's about 7 a.m. then, the AMA. Not too bad. Mr. Conundrum thinks, I really think we will dump, but I'm always wrong except on Bitcoin, so there's always a chance. And I don't know, man. Let's quickly talk about this, ladies and gentlemen. So, if you haven't heard, there's going to be this AMA next Tuesday, and my personal thoughts are that Chris is going to actually tackle some hard questions. He's going to answer some hard questions. So that's going to be good. However, will it be sufficient for the CRO fam? I think that's going to be the big question. That's also why this video is titled 36 hours left. 36 hours. 36 hours. For really a decision. Not only, it's funnily enough, it also corresponds perfectly with this structure here, right? Let's say tomorrow is going to be nothing. We basically stay within this pattern. But then, really, we have to break to the upside. Where's my mouse? We have to break to the upside or to the downside. My personal belief is because we're already right at the lower bound here of the green zone, the upside is more likely. Also, because if Chris wasn't really, feeling very confident about his answers, right? Why would you do an AMA? Why would you do an AMA? Kai Barlow's asking, I thought the AMA is happening on Tuesday. Yeah, it is. In about 36 hours. It will be done. Sanjay's watching from Slovenia. And there it is, 9 p.m. right now. Solid Snake, good evening. Favorite CRO influencer. I hate the word influencer, but well, let's say guys, we need to be very patient, right? It could be bullish, could be bearish. We know very little. All I know is that we got this here. We got the rainbow chart. The rainbow chart is on the weekly, I think, still very valid. And also, if you close like this, I would say it's still valid. I would say it's still valid. A valid structure, at least. And I wanna show you something, though. I think on a different chart. Let's go to quickly my Coinbase chart here. If you go to TradingView, guys, if you haven't used that one yet, you can actually use different markets to make different drawings. And I do that quite often just to think about certain scenarios. So what I want to share with you guys right now before we go into some more questions. Is this here. So the last few weeks, actually, since November, we've been in a very consistent downtrend. For CRO. So what's been happening the last few weeks are those lower highs we just talked about, right? We have to see it also in the context of a trend since November 2025. I can say the same thing, though, for Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin also has been in quite a downtrend. You can make a pretty similar drawing, even though that Bitcoin right now is it's even quite far below this downtrend. But well, let's see. But also there we're getting to, I think, a crescendo moment. For Cronos, though, what's also pretty interesting is that not only we are on a downtrend, we're on a downtrend for a few weeks, right? You can see here, it's November, downtrend. But we're also in an uptrend. I would say this is a bit of an anomaly here. But since December 2022, we're on an uptrend overall. And right here, we are testing that uptrend. I think if you go to the weekly, looks a lot more clear, though. But well, that's what we can see here. So if you make a beautiful bounce, that would be nice. Well, let's see. Let's wait and see. We also had a brutal bear market, so I'm waiting for different times there. CRO Bitcoin also, it's stabilizing. I was also hoping there for a bit more momentum, but not really the case. Baron, why do you always stream when I'm at work? You shouldn't be working at 9 p.m. Amsterdam time on a Sunday. What kind of work do you do, Action? What kind of work do you do? You're still here. Gastro Fox also watching from Slovenia. Beautiful. Kamala Pog, hey. Welcome. Mr. Conundrum is making a good point, though. So we're talking about why would you do an AMA. So Chris will be doing an AMA on the Tuesday, so in about 36 hours. I was saying, well, I told just a minute ago that if he wasn't confident in his answers, why would you do an AMA? Well, Mr. Conundrum is making the opposite argument here. He was forced to. All the community was asking for an AMA already for a long time. And at this point, well, I don't really trust Chris anymore. And that makes sense. Chris has said many things he has to come back to, so... Interesting. He's a man of business, though, isn't he? He's a man of business. I don't know that many companies that started in, let's say, 2017, 2017, that 10 years later are making $1.5 billion in revenue. Not net profit, but revenue, right? I do a driving job in the UK and I get paid more on Sundays. Need to buy the dip. Gotcha, man. Don't know what kind of driving job you have, but you can, if you can do it safely, you can listen and you can drive. That's better, isn't it? I wanna say something good, though, because last week the S&P has been quite bullish, actually. Let me go to the chart. So you can see here, this is S&P, the Dow Jones Index. This is the Dow Jones Index, and it's been healing. It had quite a good recovery. Back again at the 50 week. Back again at the 50 week. Bitcoin, like I mentioned before, it is struggling, but also there. If you take a look at the weekly time frame, it's again above the 50 week. So the markets are healing. The markets are healing. This week we have, of course, quite good news with the FOMC. We got the FOMC meeting that was not really they were not really forecasting the end of QT yet, so quantitative tightening. But the first steps into actually easing the market some more are set right now, because they're trying to reduce the way they're actually buying more on the balance sheet. So it's looking quite good. You're getting clearly to a point of inflection. So the market wants lower interest rates. I think Trump wants lower interest rates because it's better for the economy typically. Lower interest rate means more investments in the US economy as well. And of course, that's what they want. That's what every president wants. But we still have the danger of inflation. They are right now saying that inflation is transitory. I think transitory is the right English term here. So that means that inflation might rise a bit in the upcoming weeks because of tariffs. So tariffs are, I think, not great. So tariffs will definitely increase the day-to-day prices for the typical American. However, it can also long-term make sure you actually get like US-made product. So tariffs, of course, is a big discussion topic, which I will not, burn my hands on. It's a dangerous topic, guys. But okay, let's go quickly back to one more topic here on the charts, which is also the DXY. I was predicting the DXY collapse for a long time, and it kind of did. This was a brutal week for the DXY, the dollar currency index. But it's recovering this week a bit more. But we often see with those, after those big drops, a bit of a recovery. I wouldn't really say this is a recovery. This is a very, very weak recovery for the DXY. So maybe next week we continue to dump even more. I would really like to retest this level here for the DXY, right about here. That will be super nice to see, because, well, that's basically been all support. Yeah, even a bit lower, but right about that point here, about 100, has been a support for a long time, and also here. You can actually drag it out for a long, long time. I want to go below that one. I want to go below 100. They've been there also quite often in the past. And for example, this was during the... this was really bad though. This was really during the big economic crash of 2008. Well, 2008, leading up to 2008 at least. But I'm curious if you can actually get back to those levels once more. Also will depend on how foreign exchanges or foreign currencies will do. Anyways, a lot of macro right now, guys. A lot of macro. In the end, I think for us, the most important is still Bitcoin. I think the Bitcoin movement right now to above 85k again. Above 85k, that's looking good. Same trend line as I've shown you last week. But the AMA is going to be very important. How is the healing process going? So if anyone missed it, I have a broken shoulder, unfortunately. It's still healing. It's still healing. It's slow. It's painful, but it's healing. Flying B, good day from the UK. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I've got a question here from Jay. Will CRO go anywhere near its all-time high? It's a good question. I love it. I love some dubious speculation, like Benjamin Can would say, right? I have my opinion about it. But let's ask you to the community as well. I will quickly open a poll while you guys are... Let me check if I can do this. Gems. The man, the myth, the legend, CRO $2 in about 2 days. You know, things can happen very, very quickly. Lil Dewey, welcome, welcome, welcome. Mr. Apple, welcome as well. Jaden as well, welcome. Let me ask the audience quickly. Will Pro go to a new all-time high this cycle? The poll is live for anyone watching right now. So will Crow go to a new all-time high? $1.01. That's okay. That's a new all-time high. Or even I think 97 cents. Anyone wondering? That's new to CRO. CRO went to quite decent levels here in December or November 2021. I still remember those days. Beautiful price action. Very close to $1. Very close to $1. And currently we're struggling at 8 cents. We're down a lot. We're down a lot. If you bought up here, I feel bad for you. I do feel bad for you being 91% down. 91% down. There's always somebody selling here, right? There's always somebody selling here. Or buying here, I mean. Selling is good. Buying here is bad. Let me also explain the rainbow chart once more. Green is the buy zone. Blue is the, well, still buy zone, but, you know, be a bit more cautious. Yellow, that is, start preparing to sell and rather sell quickly. Having said that, though, it's not like if you enter the red zone, that's the minute you got to sell. Definitely not the case. Definitely not the case, because as you can see, the red zone is also a range. It's a range. So you go from the beginning of the range. Here it was 30 cents to 95 cents. And this, of course, makes no sense. This makes no sense. But this is a logarithmic chart, ladies and gentlemen. A logarithmic chart. So that means that every step to the upside is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. So this range here, it's huge. I'm again predicting Crow to go to the red band. I don't know how, though. I don't know how high it will get in the red band. But there's a big difference between the beginning of the red band and the end of the red band. About a 234% difference even. But that's what you need to understand about these markets, right? If I would show you these charts, without the logarithmic part of it, you can see this is a bad one. Let's go to crypto.com. Here you can see it a lot better. I think here you can really see how quickly you can rise to new price highs here. Non-logarithmic, that's the one. This is the one. I think this is a lot better to see how quickly you can rise. So this is the thing about parabolic rises. So here, according to the rainbow chart, this is where we entered the red territory at about 28 cents. You would have completely missed the whole pump here. The whole pump here if you bought in, if you sold here. But if you take a look really at where we consolidated back in the beginning of the bear market, that looked a lot more like where we were starting the red zone. So this is really bubble territory over here. And again, I do predict a bubble. There will always be bubbles, especially if you talk about crypto.com. Because they will probably come up with something crazy. They will do a crazy marketing scheme. At least that's my prediction here. And that will cause a new bubble. What's your theory on the AMA? Any idea what will be discussed? Good question, West. Good question. Is that Crypto West, by the way? Welcome. I will make a video about the expectations, what will be discussed, but of course, 17 million mints. That will be discussed. I think also he will go into the ETFs. ETFs is a big part of why we need the actual mint. And I think he will talk about also new things on the roadmap. Maybe something to keep us excited, you know. I think it's not enough to only address what's already been out. I think he needs to come up with something new. Might be Cortex AI. It's on the roadmap of crypto.com, but we don't know. He might also talk about the revenue numbers again. I don't know. I think he will come up with one surprise that people will think like, whoa. That's kind of also what we need, though. Last AMA, it was the hashtag make Crow great again. That was like, okay. Might we see something like this again? So make Crow great again. That was a surprise, I think, last AMA, showing again commitment to make Crow great again, of course. But we need to wait and see. So if anyone wondering, yeah, this is the same chart as you can see here, right? But we use logarithmic channels, logarithmic trend lines. That's to make it to make the trend lines more visible. It's more a tool. This is a tool. These are the actual charts, and this is where money is made, guys. This is where money is made. This is also what I would like to share with you guys when we are getting into like a bubble territory. When I'm actually going to sell, I will share it with you guys. So if you don't want to miss the bubbles, right? If you don't want to miss selling in the bubbles, don't forget to hit the like button and also subscribe, because this is going to go so fast. This minute here, this is 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, where you can sell in great profit. This though was only a few seconds even. I think you could trade for $1, maybe for 1, 2, 3 minutes. That's also though why you have to use limit orders. And I'm also right now creating a new video to show you how to use the exchange, because at this moment, I think at the majority of the world, you can use the crypto.com exchange. In the US, in the EU, and I think also in Australia, you can now use the crypto.com exchange. So if you want to sell Crow with decent fees and also using limit orders, you can also do limit orders on the app. But if you want to do it, I think the best way, you do it on the exchange. Carrying the Crow farm. And you guys are carrying the Crow farm. I'm just showing charts here. Anyways. What would you do if Chris avoids talking about the 70 billion coins? I would be very shocked. I would be 100% shocked. I don't know what I would do though. Good question. Should I sell 8ball? If Chris doesn't talk about 70 million tokens, should I sell? Let's ask the 8ball quickly. Should I sell if Chris doesn't talk about the 70 million mint? Come on, 8ball, let's go. Let's do it. Oh, it needs some more glow in the dark. Man. I need to fix this, I think. I think the ball is broken, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely. Okay, okay, if Chris doesn't talk about it, according to the 8ball, I should sell everything. I think he will, though. Everything is falling and I have clouds in my yard. Sounds like a poem, Private. Sounds like a poem here. Why does he do the EMA or the AMA after the unbounce passed? It's more like... Is what I'm more annoyed about. I can't lie. Well, in all honesty, Mr. XGen, it's not like the first mint has been already done. So the first mint will be held on the 17th of April. The 17th of April. So it's before the mint. It's after the proposal. Like I shared before, the proposal, unfortunately, was a big scam. Well, scam. It was not manipulated. Let's quickly show you guys the vote once more. Let's show you guys the vote. Oh, this is, by the way, the... let me quickly share this. So this is the wallet here. This is the Cronos POS wallet with 70 billion Cronos, by the way. 70 billion Cronos. And it starts minting on the 17th of April in about 24 days. It will not, per se, directly go to the market. We don't know. We don't know. But yeah, let's go quickly to this one here. It passed. And it all passed based on the votes by Crypto.com. So yeah, in my opinion, it was going to happen the day they proposed this. The day they opened the proposal, And that was on the, what was it? I don't even when they started it. The 3rd of March. I already knew this was going to happen 100%. Even though community was saying no, this was going to happen. But yeah, so him doing it after the proposal, after it passed, I think it makes sense. Hey Diamond J, just checking in. I have to rewatch later. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping it real. Well, you guys, you gotta keep it real, right? We gotta stay out of the emotions. We gotta, you know, talk about what we see on the charts. We've got to talk about what we get to hear tomorrow or in about 36 hours from now. And yeah, well, what I told you guys, I think the most important here, if I go back to the other chart we got for Coinbase. So let's zoom out again. We've got to wait and see what's going to happen in the upcoming days. This is going to close soon. This is going to close very soon. A few more days and this whole big triangle pattern is going to close out. Interesting last hours. Interesting last days. I gotta say though, this AMA is going to be the most influential AMA I think we ever had. Maybe with one exception. I don't know if you guys were around, but in 2022, we got an AMA after a lot of rumors regarding Crypto.com being insolvent. So not able to pay their customers. And they always said, well, we got more than a one-to-one backing for all the assets all customers have. And so far, they have shown us that's actually the case. So far. So I have seen a few more people spreading news like, is Crypto.com insolvent? Are they insolvent? Are they FTX 2.0? We have so far zero, well, clue, I think, zero indication that Crypto.com is insolvent. I think even the other way around. From the public sources that we do have, Crypto.com is making good money. Crypto.com is making good money, and it makes sense also. What we can do, let me quickly go to Chris's profile page again. Because if you haven't seen it, I think this is the biggest news story of last week. This was the biggest news story of last week. There we go. Hard to read, right? Hard to read. But this here. 1.5 billion revenue. Big amount of money. And also $300 million of net profit. And it seems like they also put a bit of their net profit into Bitcoin. They got their own Bitcoin reserves. So they do seem like they are probably making good amounts of money. No reason to believe they are insolvent if we can trust Chris. But if you take a look also at different sources. So I think in Malta, I live in the EU, and Crypto.com does have also a registration in Malta for the MiCA bill. They do have to provide some kind of information about their business. Not like full insights, not at all. But in order to also determine their taxes, etc., they need to provide a bit of information. And it also kind of aligns here what is written over here. Amount of users, amount of revenue. It's nothing out of the ordinary here. It's nothing out of the ordinary. So it sounds like a lot, but I can guarantee you that Binance is making even a lot more profit. Binance is making a lot more profit, and I do not believe that Binance is putting $700 million a year into marketing. Let's see though. Lil Jewy, will Lion go to 50 cents? Good question. I think that's unlikely though. I'm actually a decent believer that the Lion token, so the Lion token is the official loaded Lion token as created by Crypto.com. It's a bit of a meme / utility token for specifically the loaded Lions. I think they have a really strong community. But unfortunately, because the collection, the loaded Lion collection is rather limited, right? Only 10,000 actual loaded Lion NFTs. Because the collection is rather limited, I think the community is also somewhat limited to like the true believers, the people that hold the Lion token. Also a bit similar to what we do see with the Ape token, right? So we got the Ape token, and a major community is the people holding the Bored Ape Club or the mutant ape, mutant ape, I don't know. So the Ape token so far, as I've learned at least, hasn't really took off. They try to do a little bit of games, and also with the parent company that has made, I lost the name, Bazinga Labs? No, I don't know. I forgot the name of it. Anyways, the parent company also, they try to expand also to their own ape chain, I believe, but it's still very limited. There will never be like a Lion chain. There will never be, I think in the end, the overall potential for the Lion token, even though I think it's going to be pretty good because it's also paired to the Crow, I think like 30 bill is like a real max for it. 30 bill would be crazy, but it's potentially possible, right? What's a good amount of Crow to hold? Whatever you can afford to lose, David Connolly. Whatever you want to actually do. XGen is actually doing deliveries. Very clever. So listening to streams and also, you know, commenting sometimes. Private is saying, well, after the AMA, if it goes back to 25 cents soon, I do believe it will go to a new all-time high this cycle. I think it is also very possible that we get a similar price hike. I shared it, I think, last stream as well, but let me remind you guys, last AMA was in a bit more bullish environment. I gotta give you that. This AMA, we just got the Trump election here. We got Bitcoin soaring. But this AMA brought Pro to 25 cents. Give or take. Well, in all honesty, it's 23.666 cents. But we might get there, right? We might get there. This is really a make or break moment. I see some people making these thumbnails. Make or break. This is it for Cronos. Kinda is. It kinda is, but I'm also going to warn you, ladies and gentlemen, that you might not find all answers very pleasing. Like, some answers might be like, you know, beating about the bush a bit. And they kind of have to, because legally seen, Crypto.com does not own Cronos Labs. They are a big stakeholder in the Cronos ecosystem. So they also have their own eggs in the basket. Yeah, their own eggs in the basket, but they do not legally own it. So it's an open chain. It's an open chain. And I don't know how exactly the proposal, how it went online. The proposal that they did make, the Golden Age proposal, does clearly talk about Crypto.com. They also mentioned their ambitious roadmap, so it's clear they are collaborating on that front. But let's see. Let me quickly bring up that Golden Age proposal once more, because, yeah, if we're talking about bold ambition, it is clear, though, that Crypto.com is part of that ambition. And also clearly they want to use Crypto.com to actually bring Cronos to a broader audience. It's also what they do mention here. These efforts are designed to break down barriers and reach an even broader audience, encompassing the retail and institutional holders. So the institutional holders will be brought most likely with the Cronos ETFs, but also, of course, with the 140 million users of Crypto.com, is also a really big retail audience here. Anyways, Jay, I bought in November 2021, and currently I'm so badly down. Yeah, we just talked about that. That's unfortunate. I do have a DCA though, using my IC White card, and currently have about 117,000 Crow at around 21 cents. Should I DCA? This is my first cycle. This is your first cycle in crypto, and you're still here. That's actually quite good, dude. You survived so far, 91% down, and you did the right thing. You DCA down. If I take a look here at the current band, so what again, I don't give any financial advice, Jay, right? I don't give any financial advice here. But 21 cents, it is just above here in the blue circle. So for me, it is not the best buy zone. So blue doesn't mean it's outside of buying zone anymore, but it's definitely not on the green. So if you could bring it down by buying at these levels and you feel comfortable, you have sufficient income you can miss, well, it might be good. Might be good. But again, we don't have a crystal ball. We only have an 8 ball, and the 8 ball is almost not readable. But well, guys, 80 people right now in the chat. Beautiful, beautiful. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more, of course. So for Traveler Matt, his take is it's all about momentum and hype. In a parabolic bull run, nobody will look at tokenomics. So I do think we'll hit a new all-time high soon. I absolutely agree there, Traveler. I absolutely agree there. I want to remind anyone watching right now. So we're talking about this 70 billion mint a lot, but you guys are not retail. You are more clever. You are right now here watching a stream about Cronos. Pretty crazy, yeah, like me. But you're doing the research, right? You're doing the research. The people coming in, let's say near Christmas this year, I'm still thinking about leaning towards October, November. That's still my time frame. Maybe a bit earlier, but that would be somewhat crazy looking at the current pace we're growing. But the people joining in October, November, they're not going to look at tokenomics like Traveler Map mentions here. What they're going to look at is price going up. Price is going up, let's jump on the boat. Unfortunately, it's kind of what Jay did, right? Jay looked at the price in November and it was like, shit, man, that's going up like crazy. I need to jump on board. That's how retail looks at prices often. The interesting thing, though, is that what happened in 2021 also, and what's going to happen once more, is, for example, with Dogecoin. Dogecoin fundamentally is very bad, like tokenomics-wise. They're still minting or mining a lot of Doge tokens every day. Doge is a meme. They never really thought about how can we burn tokens, or there's not like a Dogecoin foundation really trying to achieve something. It's a meme. The only fundamentally bullish thing about Dogecoin is probably Elon Musk and him wanting to, well, sell Teslas with Dogecoin. That's, I think, the most bullish aspect about the tokenomics of Dogecoin. But people don't care. People look at its price going up. And also, this is also an interesting fact, but everything below $1 is like emotionally like very interesting. It's very cheap, right? So Dogecoin being below $1, great entry point. CRO being below $1, great entry point. That's at least from an emotional point of view, right? That's what many people see, believe. That's why I do also still believe in a new all-time high. It's definitely in the cards. Definitely in the cards. The only thing I have to say, though, is that Chris definitely has damaged the trust of his current customer base. And I don't know if that matters. I don't even know if it matters. I think there was still more space to actually adopt more users. If I talk to anyone, they haven't heard about CRO. They haven't heard about CRO. It's the typical crypto, the typical crypto user, not really into CRO. Is still really into the top 20. Crypto.com or CRO is not really top 20 material right now. It's top 50. It's top 50. Top 20, that's what we need to be. That's what people buy, top 20. So we got Bjorn. I got some new speculation about the unburn and also the AMA. CRO will be an integral part of CDC, and then CRO will become an integral part of CDC and then become comparable to BNB. That's funny though, because they did the opposite with BNB. So BNB was clearly, like CRO beforehand, right, a very integral part of the company. But then BNB right now is no longer done by Binance. It's done by Easy Labs. I can probably show you. That's also why. So CZ is no longer the CEO of Binance, but CZ is definitely still an important part of Easy Labs, and therefore the BNB token still has this bullish feel about it. Let me check if I can find it. I think it's Easy Labs. Easy Labs. Here we go. It's good speculation though. So, but this is the actual foundation trying to govern the Binance Smart Chain and also the BNB token. And that's what, yeah, this is what it mentions here. Binance Labs rebrands to Easy Labs, ushers in a new leadership and investment focus. That's also where CZ here mentions it takes a very active role in management. CZ takes an active role in investment activities, offering direct mentorship and coaching to founders, while Ella Zhang returns as head of Easy Labs to lead the next phase of growth and innovation. So let's see. If they actually go the path Bjorn is mentioning, it's not impossible, right? It's definitely not impossible, but it will be definitely a fun move. Yeah. It will be a fun move. I think CRO and Lion will be equal in price. What's your thought? Like I mentioned before, fitting crypto, I do believe like fundamentally CRO has more use cases. So they have a chain, they have the Visa cards, they have, I think, more potential long term than what we see with the Lion token, even though the Lion token has a game. There are multiple games built on the Cronos chain, so it's one game or maybe two games versus a whole chain and a whole ecosystem. So I do believe like fundamentally there should be more room for CRO to grow. I wouldn't mind though. I have got a decent bag of Lion tokens, so I wouldn't mind. Kermit Lepoc is a real believer of the Able. We should start a religion here. A religion. Maybe I can sell tokens. We start a meme token. Straps and 8 balls. Oh, 6-eyed Joker. You know, isn't actually the CRO ETF bullish? Is that a question or? I do believe it's bullish. It's a new way to actually create demand. It's never bad, right? It's only good. Mainly the only bad thing about ETFs is that it's not really centralized. It's super centralized. So if you're a true blockchain believer, then we don't need ETFs. ETFs are going back really to why Bitcoin even started to exist, is because we don't trust banks, we don't trust the typical investment companies. So that's the only bad part about it. But now governments are getting into the game as well. I mean, it's only a matter of time before ETFs are becoming a very important thing in the scene. So overall, in my opinion, ETFs is not, a big deal. It's not a way for companies to easily get into a token or into a project. Well, it's getting, I think, less and less bullish as time goes on. That's the honest answer here. We saw the Pengu ETF announcement. So Pengu is a meme token from the Pudgy Penguins, and Pudgy Penguins are a complete ecosystem, but the ETF announcement didn't really do anything for the price. Can I check that? Let me quickly fact check that one. So we've seen the S&P. Let's bring up Pengu. Yeah, so ouch. I really hope, ladies and gentlemen, this is not going to be the lion chart. Can we bring up the lion chart? Lion. It's not there yet, is there? It is. It is. I really hope it's not going to be a repeat of the Pengu chart here. The lion is looking pretty strong though. Not gonna lie. I think it will break to a new all-time even. That's not even that unlikely. Jeez Louise though. It's honestly, I keep getting surprised by the lion token. GS, welcome. What happens with CRO in South Korea and other markets? I have no clue. I've heard they want to launch already for a long time in South Korea, Mr. Allen, but they are slacking, I guess. They're pretty slacking. Hey, Baron. For you and for many, I think it will be a make or break moment. I think for many it is. And I think it will be just sufficient. Let's say it that way. I think it's going to be just sufficient. Chris is going to be saying just enough bullish things so people can, you know, believe still in the dream. And I think the dream is still on. It's still a possibility, right? But there will always be people that will be disappointed because he's not, you know, answering all the questions, because he still needs to dodge some bullets. He can't legally talk like he is owning the place, because Cronos Labs and Ken Timsit are still the people running the business there. They are the Cronos Foundation, the Cronos Labs. Lion token has no use. Well, Lion token has a specific use in the Lion ecosystem, the game. I think that's a great use case. That's also, I think, why the Lion token has, you know, has existence rights. But I get what you say there. Get what you say. If they're making good money, why do they need to raise 70 billion more CRO? Let's listen to Monday. I will be live streaming, guys. If you're just watching right now, I will be live streaming the AMA event. Will be happening in about 36 hours from now. Happening 1 p.m. Singapore time. So just make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, because then you don't miss any live stream, especially if you enable notifications. That's all I can really say about that. Yeah, but let's go quickly back here. So we talked about Easy Labs. So I think this is going to be also the direction that, honestly, Cronos needs to take. There needs to be a strong Cronos Labs foundation, backed, of course, by a great partnership with Crypto.com. That's, I think, still the strongest approach here. That's also why BNB token is still performing like it is. So anyone really hoping for Crypto.com to take over again the CRO token, you don't need to. Take a look here. Easy Labs. And let's take a look at the BNB token quickly, because I do believe the BNB token is still soaring. It is still soaring, yeah. So it's been down like the rest of the market, but doesn't matter, guys. Doesn't matter. Doing good. Doing pretty good. Also, as we're talking at the moment, Binance, the Bitcoin price is also going up quite nicely, so that's good. And also, what I like to see is that we're just gaining a little bit on the CRO charts. Just gaining a little bit, so that means if I'm looking at the rainbow chart once more, it's right on top really of that line. It's right on top of that line. Let's put this, you see. The rainbow chart still is very valid. The rainbow chart is still very valid. And this is in a logarithmic trend line, ladies and gentlemen. So the last time we touched this, the touch was at 7 cents. Right now the touch is at 8 cents. The touch here, that was at about 5 cents. So we keep touching, but we're going up in price. By the way, George, welcome to the community. Strap in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Are we going to do an IPO or what? And if so, does that help the token? That's a good question, Adam. We talked about this last stream. I think there's a lot of good speculation going on. Why there should be an IPO. But yeah, it's if so, I hope they do include something with CRO. Yeah. Let's see though, let's see. Emma, I gotta leave today a bit early, but I look forward to your AMA review Tuesday. Will do so, Emma. Welcome. You're welcome. Crypto Runner, good afternoon. I hope the world is sunny there in the USA. That's the one. Traveler Matt knows his stuff. So we talked about Ape Chain. And Ape Chain is led by Yuga Labs. And Yuga Labs, they are running these days multiple projects, not only the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Wow. English is hard today. If the FTX token or Terra Luna can actually survive, CRO will be fine. Well, do you call this surviving, Crypto Runner? That's it's the FTT token, right? Or do you mean if we survive the whole deal? Wait a minute, that's actually not even too bad if this is the case here. No, this is wrong. Let's go to FTT token, FTT. There we go. Oh man, this chart is really bad. Yeah, so the FTT token is down 99%. 99%. Not saying that Cronos is that much better off, but it's definitely not down 96%, is it? 99. Well, okay, we're down 93%. That's a bit less. 91% down. But yeah, I do expect green candles as well. Good morning again, though, Mr. Crypto Runner. Good afternoon, I mean. Flying Bee is saying, well, the CDC and CRO relationship does sound a lot like the one Ripple and XRP have. That's true. But I think with the Cronos Labs Foundation in between, there's no Ripple Labs, is there? Is there Ripple Labs? Like a separate entity next to Ripple? Has the Wells notice to CDC gone? So from what I've heard from official sources, Mr. Flying Bee, the Wells notice is still active. They still are doing the research. However, the counter case, so Crypto.com sued the SEC, that case is gone. I do believe though that the SEC, the Wells notice by the SEC is going to be also stopped soon. I don't think there's any danger to believe it's still going to be happening, especially because recently, slowly, all those cases are going away. Kraken, done. Ripple, done. All those cases are slowly going to disappear. So, Coin Baron, when do you suggest to have free from stake your CRO? So, for anyone wondering, so you have, if you actually use any earn platform on Crypto.com, if you stake, if you use the Visa card, if you use the airdrop arena, there's often like a lockup period. For the Visa cards, it's 1 year, and after a year, still 28 days. 28 days, which corresponds also to the unstaking or unbundling period we have on the Cronos POS chain. So 28 days. Currently, I'm personally making sure that right now I'm unlocked as much as possible. I'm better off probably, unlocking right now than missing out on potentially a few percent. So what I'm doing myself, Solid Snake, I'm getting off those earns right about now. So if you start an airdrop arena, that's okay. It's still okay. I think after the summer it's okay, but they make sure it's free in August. Let's say that. Let's say it like that. Nobody cares about tokenomics. It's also, that one is pretty crazy. We went to a new all-time high in, I think we went to a new all-time high in price for XRP, but a lot earlier we went to a new all-time high in market cap. So if you take a look at XRP and the market cap, because we are printing a lot more tokens. So since the high in 2017 for Ripple, for XRP, a lot more tokens have been minted. So I'm not entirely sure. So we are currently at a new all-time high for, well, very close to the old all-time high for Ripple, for XRP. But let me check if the token actually went to a new all-time high. Okay, it did. No, it didn't. Wait. Did we go to a new all-time high? So the unfortunate truth is that many exchanges are pretty old by now. Kraken, that one is true. Unfortunately, all these charts miss the data I need. I need the XRP one from before 2018. That's curious though. I wish that Binance had it. Ah, this is it, I guess. And $1. Ah, interesting. What's up, Ultra Justin? What's up? Random token, 85 people watching, only 29 likes. Hit the like button, thank you very much. Let's grow. The fact that CDC distances themselves so much away from Cronos terrifies me. BNB did not do that. Well, how much did they distance themselves? They still offer the cards, they still offer the arena. I think people are, in all honesty, a bit too much talking about this. Like, I mean, it's pretty much the same. It's exactly the same as Binance, I think, at least in my opinion. But maybe, Adam, you got some good examples. If you got any good examples, let me know. Kermit, thanks again. So if anyone wondering, we do have like a Discord as well. So feel free to join our Discord. It's not really active, but you know, maybe after the AMA, let's have some good discussions. So Crypto Runner is also making a good point here. So, you know, for Chris, for the trust in Chris, short term, it doesn't matter. All that matters is price. But I do believe the long term does matter. The long term does matter because, let's say you want to stake. If you want to stake for one of those Visa cards, it will be a year long locked. It will mean for you that you will have to do a complete new cycle. One more cycle with CRO. That requires a bit of trust, isn't it? That requires a bit of trust in the token, the project, and the community. I know many people that bought the card 4 years ago. 4 years ago by this point. And they believed in the project. They were thinking, well, it's a good project. I can stake, I can hold, I can do whatever. And those people are still here. Will those same people still be here in 4 years' time? That's a good question. That's a good question. CRO Farm. Mr. West is trying to change his name every once and again. What are your sell targets? The sell targets are my rainbow chart. I will bring it up again. So the red zone here. The red zone here, Mr. CRO Farm. So I would say in between $1 and $3.20-ish. Even a bit higher, I'm lying. $3.70-ish. So what is your exit plan, Baron? It's to sell. I'm gonna sell, buy back lower. That's the plan. That's what everyone should try to do. Buy low, sell high. Buy low, sell high. I do like though, Adam. Adam has a plan. 37 cents, 49 cents, 78 cents. You can't actually go wrong with that one. So for Crypto Runner, the plan is to actually start selling some CRO at 50 cents. And then going up. I think that's clever. 50 cents also corresponds pretty nicely here with this yellow band. So going on from that point, that makes sense. I think the true gainers are here. Short term, I do have some trust in Chris. So if you talk about Chris again, this tweet is, I think, very, very influential for my plan. Don't know where it is. It's a bit down. Oh man, Chris is tweeting way too much. No, he wasn't really communicating that much. But, you know, this sentence is very important for me. We will stay laser focused on building towards new all-time highs. I mean, all-time highs, like many people can interpret it as in multiple ways, of course, but we typically only talk about all-time highs in price valuation. And I think also for Crypto.com, it will be very wise it will be very, very wise to push the price to a new all-time high. While we talk about that, we actually got a vote in. I got a vote in for the question here. Will CRO go to a new all-time high in this cycle? Chris is saying yes. Chris is definitely saying yes. We're going to go to a new all-time high. 70 or 62% agrees. 38% disagrees. Now, 63%. Okay, interesting. About 63% believes yes, we'll go to a new all-time high. Last chance, guys, to actually answer this poll before we're going to close it. Will CRO go to a new all-time high this cycle? I think the tweet by Chris is very important for me personally. The 8-ball cult. I like it. I like it. 8 of us. 8 of us. Isn't that like a pool table ball? So if the price goes to 49 cents and then the bull run is over, I will have my full bag of CRO going into the bear market. Okay. Yeah, wait. If the price goes to 49 cents, so you're selling from 50 cents and up? I saw a post from Finance X God. I don't know, Jason. I don't know if I should believe tweets from Finance X God. I mean, he's a big Mary bull, and that's fine. He's a big Mary bull, and he's been very bearish about Cronos, and that's fine. But you know, the dude is a bit, I think, disillusional by this point. No hurt. No offense. Or how do I say this? But you know, I think he's had some bad luck with his own bags, and then he's trying to actually, you know, relieve himself by expressing some bad things about Crypto.com and CRO. CRO is definitely not a CDC cash cow. I mean, that makes no sense. With the amount of money they've been pumping into CRO as well. But at least that's my opinion here. Minting 70 billion for the future is like making more Bitcoin because only 21 is too limited. I still don't justify it. No, true. True, but I don't think it's a cash cow bought for Crypto.com because let's get back again to the basics, right? Crypto.com is no longer the owner of Cronos, in theory. Cronos Labs is running the strategic reserve for Cronos. The one we've been talking about. Let me bring it up again. The new golden age. The new golden age for Cronos. It's not Crypto.com. It is not Crypto.com. They always separate Crypto.com and Cronos. Crypto.com will not be in charge, in theory, of this Cronos strategic reserve. They should not have these funds in order to, for example, give away the rewards for the Crypto.com Visa cards. That will be very strange in my opinion. The strategic reserve should not be used to give out Crypto.com rewards. That is, I think, how I see it. That's what makes sense. That's also, yeah. The only thing what I can say here is that they do mention app and exchange program benefit, but I don't know how they mean that. They're gonna use these funds for example, development funds or grants and incubation. In theory, if it's in the Cronos strategic reserve, it shouldn't be used for rewards on the Visa card at least. Adam Kurtz. You know, the rainbow chart, it's hanging on, but it's by a thread. Yeah, true. But it has been that way already for a long time. It's been that way for a long time. It's right now 10 p.m. over here. 10 p.m. It's, I think, 9 p.m. UTC. I make use of this chart based on the universal time zone, UTC. We got about 3 hours left. We got about 3 hours left, and then the week closes. And a weekly close, that's also why this stream is called a weekly close. That's when this candle closes. And the candle right now is red, but it's right on top of this purple line, isn't it? It's right on top of the purple line. I would say this is okay. This is okay. Adam is sharp though. Adam is sharp. Oh, Michael, I'm listening, Bo. I'm driving home. But I hope Chris doesn't dodge the big question. No, true. I think he can't. And also, for anyone just watching, he also did answer the hard questions the last time he did an AMA. I think 5 months ago, when we had the last AMA in November. The big thing in the community is, why doesn't my token get listed? My Cronos chain token listed on the Crypto.com exchange. He answered the question. However, and I think that's again the good one, he answered the question. So he talked about it. He talked about it, and he also gave them a path to actually get listed. But he didn't really give the full answer, maybe. That's also, I think, the clever thing. Sometimes Chris, he talks about things a bit in a riddle way. But he will talk about the mint. He will talk about it. He will talk about the benefits. He will talk about why they voted yes. That's, I think, the most likely outcome there. But true. You got an injury. You lost your job. We got an unburn. You know, surely the worst is over. I think we've got a saying here. You have to chuck the poison, the boil of poison. The question is the bowl of poison, is that empty? The wannabe King Laffy needs some more crack. King Laffy, isn't that from the anime? Laffy? So, for Haven, Crow is a part of my daily life with wild horses. So, yeah, so I got the same here, Haven. So Haven is saying, well, it was really a wild ride. Really a wild ride. Especially in the beginning. I think also the proposal was a bit strange because of the lack of communication. So all we got was like this very weird thing, right? So we got, hey, it's a golden age. It's a golden age, guys. A golden age for Cronos. Let's go. Let's go. Wow. And then also, wait a minute. Wait. 70 billion tokens. What? Why? It's a roller coaster. It is. Sabon, when is the Q&A? In about 33 hours. Sibon, if you hit the like button here and you subscribe, I will be live streaming the AMA. It's going to happen 1 p.m. Singapore time. 1 p.m. Singapore time. I don't really have a fixed sell price. I am more about time in the bull market. You know, watching M2 fat rates. I think, Traveler, you got the right things here. Is this how many cycles have you been through? If you're still here, how many cycles have you been through? Good night, nobody. Good night. Anyways, welcome, Sibon. You know, everything I invest in seems to go to a new all-time low. First we got XRP, then we got Luna, then we got Crow. The question though, Inferno, are you still into XRP? Because if you're still into XRP, I think you're quite a happy man, aren't you? XRP right at about $3 or $2.50. Not too bad. Luna though, Luna was a different beast altogether. And it's already 10 past 10 p.m. here in Amsterdam. So I want to quickly talk about a few final things here, ladies and gentlemen. So wanna end off by quickly saying thanks again. It's again a beautiful week with a lot of uncertainty. So far though, the Cronos token, it had a dumpy Tuesday. But we're still here. The CRO price, it's still in the green, or well, it's still not, you know, I would say it's still in the range here of the rainbow chart. Very close. Hangs on by a thread, like Adam mentions, but it's still here. And Bitcoin is also still climbing. So we're getting into the final days, the final hours, maybe even of a crescendo. We talked about this in the beginning. But you can see really, we are getting to the end really of a very interesting time for CRO. A very interesting time. So the AMA is going to decide how the next few weeks will look like. I have an 80% belief it will be bullish. 80% belief, but I think Chris has a plan. He has to have a plan. That's my belief at least. But let's wait and see. It's going to be very instrumental the last few hours. 33 hours left, guys. Might be a final chance to get into CRO while the price is low. Might be a final chance to get out. It's going to be make or break moments, but I will be here. I will be live streaming. Looking forward to it. Anyways, don't forget to hit the like button. I will see you next Tuesday with a new live stream. And I think also next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, there will also be a new video going live. So stay tuned for that one. Have a good one. Have a good sleep. Have a good night. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye-bye-bye. Bye-bye-bye. Travel and Mad though made a few good decisions. GG man, GG.